Hello. Hello, everyone. Hi. How we doing? How's it going? How we doing? So, we're gonna have a little conversation today, and we're gonna talk about. I'm not gonna be here long, guys. I'm not gonna be here long. Uh, but we are gonna talk a little bit about an issue. And as you guys know, in my situation, in my case, what I'm dealing with is police stations being run by Republican state media. Like basically, like them just being told what to do and being told, sort of like, well, don't really about worry about regular everyday stuff. Worry about, you know, this and that and don't worry about the stuff. And so you have a lot of police right now just sort of kind of acting like a bunch of fools and not really doing much to help out because again they're being molded to do that. So this is escalating and getting worse, and in my case all the departments around here, um, none of them do anything about this stuff. And basically you just have people around here that get stalked. People are flying around all over the place, and they're look, several times today I drove past kids on the side of the road with like dad or something like that, and they could at any point, and they did, and that's why I drive slow. They could at any point run out in the middle of the road, and if I hadn't been driving slow, probably wouldn't have been able to stop. And so this is very serious, okay? So of course today of all days, when some jackass is actually being a stalker and actually does this, um basically my back camera of course was pointed down, okay? So there's going to be part of it we can't see, but where he's flying around to catch up to me and he's swerving around behind the guy behind him trying to pass him and stuff. He was literally just doing that. He was swerving around, looking around the guy, trying to follow me. So I caught this guy illegally passing several people. He was illegally passing several people. He was flying around all over the place. And when I caught up with him, he pulled into somebody's driveway to get away from me because he thought I was a cop. That's what he thought. I guarantee you that's what he thought. So he pulled into somebody's driveway, and I slowed down. I'm just explaining this before I show you what happened. I slowed down to sort of, kind of look and see, if it's somebody that lived there or if it's a guy just pulling into a random driveway. And look, I feel like he knew the person, maybe, and was going there anyway, but he was there for, a good 10, 20 seconds. When I went by, I then saw him pull out, back out, and drive up the road after me. And this guy had had a family in the car. He had his girlfriend or whatever and some kid in the back, some teenager or something like that. I know because when I then was going up the road and I saw him doing this, I was like, whoa, I'm going to just pull over and deal with this guy. I'm not going to let him follow me. Okay? So I pulled over. I was just going to deal with him. And I pulled over and I went and pulled into the county park. I did not want him on the road acting a fool. If he wants to act a fool, he can try to, you know, take me on. He's gonna get a rude awakening. But I do not want him on the road acting a fool. And the point is, I'm pulling over, and I knew he was following me because as soon as I pulled in there, and turned around, thinking, well, he's going to go past if he's not following me, right? I swear to God, I was backing out and he was already turning around, staring at me in the middle of the road. And I was actually blocking the road, preventing him from going anywhere. And he like really quickly went around me and drove the other way down the road. He was trying to follow me. So at the point at which I turned into the county park, he's no longer swerving around and has to go really fast in the direction he's going. He has to turn around right then and go the other way in the middle of the road in front of the traffic. Because when I turned in, there was no traffic coming at me. I turned in, and now this traffic was slowing down just because I was backing out a little bit on the other side. So they were just slowing down, let me out. And he was turning around in front of them after coming up behind me, like just in the middle of the road. And so it's important to realize also that the houses around this area where you're looking at here, if you look at the roads when I drive by, these people take their cars and they get in the road and they just sit there and do burnouts unsafely because there's so many bends and stuff. You can't see far enough. There could be oncoming traffic. You could kill an entire family doing something like that. And you don't give a shit because you just think it's woke to complain about doing burnouts. No, if you can't see, you can't see. It's that simple. When you do that stuff, and they get permits for doing it, they get spotters, people up the road. They do it right. They don't just do it. You can't just willy-nilly do burnouts in front of your house on the road because you're a jackass. So again, I want to show you what happens here. But I caught this guy illegally passing people, and it's going to start right after that, right when he is unsafely passing a buggy around a bend he can't see, and then pulls into a driveway to get away from me because he thinks I'm a cop. So here we are. Here we are. You can see he's well ahead of me. You can't even see him. So we're going around the bend, going around the bend, going around the bend. And as you can see, I'm already starting to slow down, knowing what's coming. I see the horse and buggy. Look, what's he doing? You can't even see him. He's gone. He's gone. Yeah, he is gone. So this car right here that you see right there, do you see that car? Do you see that? That thing. That one. That's why, of course, I wish that my rear camera would have been working, but trust me, you're going to see the front of it. And he's gone. He was illegally passing, flying down the road, trying to get away from me. So as I get up here, I don't know if you can sort of see him passing there a little bit there, but let's get past the point at which I stop. He pulls in the driveway. Oh, there is the car. You can see it. My fault. There it is. He's pulling in the driveway. See that? So there he goes. He pulls in that driveway right there. Okay? And this is a gray Ford little thing, okay? Some gray little Ford. And he's got a young lady in the front and a much younger lady in the back. And he's driving like this. And he pulls in there, and as you can see, I don't want to pass. I was thinking about it, but I'm like, I can't see, I will not pass. So I wait. I try to even back off a little bit. I don't want to pressure the buggy. I don't want them to make the horse run any faster than it needs to just because I want to pass. I'm not going to do that. What the hell's the matter with you if you do something like that? And then as you can see, you see all these tire treads there? These fresh tire treads? Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. What the hell is going on that cops don't do anything about this? It's every day I see this shit. All I gotta do is drive down that road in the middle of summer and I'll fucking see it. And it's the same houses. It's been the same houses since I was going to school. Because their parents taught their kids and their kids are right there still doing it. So there it is. And that was the behavior of the people in this house too that he pulled in the driveway when I was younger. Oh, these were the people that bullied the fuck out of me on the bus. He conveniently pulled into their house where there's no post, again, if somebody calls the cops on them, they have no trespassing signs because we don't have township around here. So they can sue the cops if there's cops responding, they do that so they can sue cops. They just have them out in the front of the yard and stuff like that. They're trying to cause problems for cops because they've gotten caught. Shit like this. And this is the point. So let's get further down here. So as you can see, I'm not passing, and I sort of slowed down and I'm kind of looking and verifying. I realize you can't see it, but that's the driveway right there. That little stone driveway there. That's the driveway he pulled into. Okay, there's the mailbox, that's the driveway. And this psychopath is just sitting in this person's driveway. And you can't confirm if he knows them or not, but again, the convenience of pulling in the driveway of the people that, like I said, conveniently that house, it's like, interesting. Like there's plenty of Amish people around here. He didn't pull in their driveway. He pulled into the fucking redneckish hubcaps or a home improvement fucking, most ridiculous, driveway you could possibly imagine. It's that. So at this point, he's following me. At this point, just so you know, I really, my reverse cam is just pointed at the ground. I had no idea. So obviously I got to fix that. But it literally was pointed at the freaking ground. And I'm like, of all times where somebody's literally, he was all over the road. He was like over the white. There's no way people didn't call about this guy. There's just no way. He was harassing everyone. Not just me, like anybody that's driving down the road, he's passing them, getting in their way, and they got to stop. That's what he was doing. And so anyway, let's continue on here. At this point, he's behind me. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that at this point, I've already seen him backing out of that driveway and he's behind me. So I'm aware of that. And now at this point, as you can see, I can finally see I finally have clearance. And this is what you have to realize about that stretch of road. People get impatient. They'll go around you. They get all pissed off. It's like, look, man, I don't want some person to have a head-on collision just because they're coming around this huge bend on the other side of the road. If I pass that buggy at any point, and somebody's coming around that bend on the other side of the road, they're going to fucking run right into me or have to go off the road into somebody's yard. And that has happened so many times. The person going around the buggy or something like that nothing happens to them because the other person was paying attention. And they end up going off the road and having an accident and the person takes off. This is terrible. So you should never be passing there, ever. And that's what the two fucking lines are for. Neither side passes. Unbelievable. So again, that's how far you should be. If somebody would want to pull out, they can pull out then in front of me. I'll just proceed to be a safe distance behind them. It doesn't impede traffic. They can speed up without me slowing down. And thus, you don't get pissed off. This is the issue. People follow too close. They hit their brakes. They get mad. Literally, just leave distance, dumbass. It's that simple, dumbass. You are stupid. And quite frankly, if you're the one trying to pressure somebody to drive faster, 9 times out of 10, that person will brake check you. I don't fucking do that. But 9 times out of 10, that person will fucking brake check you. And I promise, no, I don't have to do that. I flick them off. That's what I do. Yeah, it triggers the hell out of them. That's free speech. You can do that. Oh my God, they lose their minds. The other day, the guy was just tailgating the fuck out of me. And I just went like this in the mirror. I literally just held my hand up like this in the mirror. I swear to God, within a minute, he backed off. He got a little pissed off, and then he sort of realized it. He's like, yeah, I guess I'm getting mad at somebody flicking me off, aren't I? So he's a good person. He didn't care. He's probably laughing about it now. Days after. The other person, that's behavioral. So here I pass. Finally, I can pass and I can actually go the speed limit. Now I see him at this point. I see him so close to the other car. His car goes like way out on the other lane and then way back. And he's like this close to the other car. And he's like doing this all over the road so he can see where I am. Because he's not far enough back to see me unless he does that. You see what I'm saying? So it's a behavioral issue. So he's doing that at this point. So that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to let this fucking weird-ass stalker either deal with me. I thought for sure he was just going to pull in there. But then I thought he was going past. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull out. And as I'm pulling out, he's turning around. So that's literally what happens. So here we are. I put on my signal. I turn in. Here I am turning in. At this point, I'm like, okay, I think he's going past. He was right on that car's ass. The other car went past. So I'm going to back up. There's nobody coming. You saw nobody coming, right? Remember? There is nobody coming here. See that? Nobody. So I'm like, all right, I'll just back out. I'm not going to turn around. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm just going to back out. If there's no traffic, who cares? By the time I backed out, I sweat. Look at this guy's car. Look. That's the dude that was behind me. Look at him on the right there. There he is. Already in the middle of the road. Look at it. Look at my license plate or my car or something like that. And here he goes. Ready? Here he goes. Right in front of me. So this fucking dude, again, you can see a person in the back, sort of. It's hard to see, but he does have two passengers. There's somebody in the back there, and there is somebody in the passenger side that I could easily see. Because his windshield was in front of me. I could see that. For you guys, there's a lot of glare and stuff like that. It was pretty easy for me to tell that there's somebody in there. I know it is hard to see that, but regardless, look, this person's waiting for him now, and I could have been driving, and they weren't even there before that. Like he's just doing a Yui in the middle of the fucking road because he's following the dude. This guy had a big old black beard, black, sort of dark black, blackish hair, I guess. And you know, he's just driving like that, swerving around all over the place, tailgating people, illegally passing every single person he comes across. and doing illegal U-turns in the middle of the road in traffic like this. And then again, after this, again, he just sort of speeds off down the road the other way. So that's it. And of course, I didn't have, of course, my freaking reverse camera, my rear camera wasn't working. It was, well, it was working, it was pointing at the freaking ground. So I went to pull that up and I was like, man, I really wish I could have had the guy doing this, you know? God damn it. It's always that, right? There's always something. So, yeah, you know, I mean, he illegally passed so many people. I saw him doing this, and he went through that area where there's like nothing but Amish and stuff like that, and everybody should drive slow. Is windy roads, bumps. You know, there's accidents there all the time because people do stuff like that. Yeah, people have lost their lives around this area because of acting fools like that. So again, I wasn't planning on being on here long, but the point was to try to get on here as quick as I could because I want to remind you guys that you know, this is all the time. You know, it's not that, you know, it's the sort of thing where I've had plenty of things happen in the past where I have reported things and the police harassed me, caused a problem for me. And we're talking about pretty basic stuff. Pretty usual, basic, mundane, boring stuff that they should look into. And instead, because they're incompetent, they'll actually sit here and do illegal stuff. Like at the time I told you about the East Earl police station, couldn't find the dog that I was talking about because again, I was working so much, and remember I told you they conveniently kept finding me and pulling me over. This asshole kept running into me and no, he was intentionally following me around and running into me on purpose, illegally. And so the point is, all I did was I had the audacity to put in a report for a random dog going through a busy intersection because I was concerned, and I was on my way to my martial arts school, which was about 45 minutes away. So I have to be there on time. My business might be closing soon. I can't be wasting time. You know, there's a lot of stuff always happening like that, getting in the way when I'm trying to get there. And sure enough, there was yet another thing, and I can't. Obviously, now I know better. Now, you know, you don't report stuff to the police around here. You just you take care of it yourself, because that's what they do. And I swear to God, by the time I got to my studio, this guy claimed that he looked for a dog, which he clearly didn't. And he was calling me on my cell phone, asking for my name, address, phone number, and all this shit. Actually did that. And I gave it to him, because stupid me. Stupid me. I didn't know. That's a scam. That is a scammer. Just thinks like a scammer. He's getting your information. He's causing a problem for you. That's a scammer. It's not a cop. That's a piece of trash. So this is somebody that goes to their job every day to cause problems for other citizens that they seem as a problem to the department. But again, their behavior isn't being checked. They're just dumb. Like, any smart person would be like, what the fuck is the matter with you, you idiot? You don't treat people that way. Like, this person in good faith reported this. You're dumb and couldn't figure it out, and now you're harassing that person. Yeah, that's what that is. That's not, you know, anything else except for that. So This is what happens in this area. You know, you call 911. You call 911 and the police don't send anybody in this area. I swear to God, when you call 911 for any reason, and again, remember, if you call 911 and they even might believe that it's fake or something like that, remember, they're still supposed to send somebody, because even if it's fake, it's believed you probably shouldn't be calling 911 and misreporting or yada, yada, yada. So there needs to be some type of follow-up investigation as to why you called 911. Right? That's how it goes. You don't just go, well, that guy, he's, you know, we watch his streams, you know, so if he calls 911, you know, just don't even. Because that's literally what happened. I called 911. 911. And I literally said, I need a police car for an emergency. And literally the police dispatch, you know, again, I'm not going to tell you all about it again and stuff. That's personal information. But the police dispatch, I swear to God, said to me, word for word, we don't do that, sir. I swear to God, I swear to fucking God, this stupid fucking person. And then when I got angry because it's an emergency and said, I need your name and badge number, she said again, we don't give that out, sir. What's your name? And got very angry over a 911 recorded fucking call. A police dispatcher. Yeah, that's good old took your job, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, dumb motherfuckers. That's what it is. That's literally, everybody around here is dumb as fucking hell. They are so dumb. And even the ones that went to school with me and got good grades, they're fucking stupid too. They have no idea. And this is how mind-controlled our local government has everybody around here. They are mind-controlled to be fucking stupid about what they are doing to misuse authorities, to misuse police. Because this should not be happening every fucking day. Every day. This is unacceptable. If I ever see this motherfucker again, you better fucking believe. You better fucking believe he's getting recorded. I don't ever want to see that asshole around here again. You hear me? You don't belong around here. You come around here, swerving around, trying to run people over on that road right there. We've had hit and runs where people run people over and keep driving. It was this guy. This guy runs people over and keeps driving. That's why he's acting like that in that place. Yeah. Just like when, you know, you're pulling in for your drugs and you think a cop sees you. That's why you would act fucking nuts, because you pulled in for a drug deal and you thought a cop saw you. Because that's the only way you act like. You're not acting like that because you think you're getting a ticket for passing people. You're acting like that because something's on you. You're driving to a drug deal, or whatever you're doing is illegal. Something you're doing is illegal. And you're acting like that to prevent it from getting noticed and seen. That's why this fucking asshole is doing that. And the police, they don't do a goddamn thing around here. They do Jack diddly squat. That's why when I report this and I show it to you, they're following me around on the road. That cop that I showed you on my rear cam, when it was working, it was pointed right, and he's flying up the road behind me just to get caught up to me to not pull over the other car that's in front of me, swerving around all over the place, fluctuating speed. So let me get this straight. You can illegally fucking drive down the road and catch up to somebody, and that's okay. But what that other person was doing wasn't suspicious driving. I mean, this is literally the reason why you have the hands-free law for suspicious driving, and you don't even fucking use suspicious driving because you're fucking stupid. You need some law to you know, get you to just to look at people's phones and shit. No, you don't need that because you're dumb. The point is, you need to start doing shit like this because you're not doing it. You don't know how to catch somebody for suspicious driving. You're just stupid. Yeah, that's the reality. And then there he goes past me down the road. There he goes. I'm like, okay. I went like this and looked at the lady across the road. We could actually look at each other. It looks like we're far away, but we're not. We could actually see each other. I went like this, and she did the same thing. She's like, she shook her head and like threw her hands up too, like she was sort of communicating back. Like I have no idea, you know. Like we were both like communicating. Like, what the fuck was that? That's basically what happened. We're looking at each other. We had both stopped, and we were like, "What the fuck was that?" Basically, like it was that. So again, um, those tire marks, and then again, remember the car. Man, I really wish that that rear camera was pointed right. It's so annoying. There it is. There it is turning in again. So like you're not gonna get a plate from that. But it's a gray Ford little piece of shit. So like basically something he can whip around and drive like nuts and beat into the ground. So he has it for that. That's why he has that. That's how people act around here. And I'm not for it. You know, like this is why if you act like that, you're not my friend. Don't ever fucking talk to me again. You're gonna kill somebody. You're a murderer. Don't fucking talk to me ever again. I don't want anything to do with you if you drive like that. Don't you ever speak to me again. I don't care if you think it's, you know, cool because you're into street racing and shit. It's not cool. Street racing's not cool. You're a stupid piece of shit. Don't ever speak to me again. You race on tracks and closed circuits. You don't race on the road. And if you ever did, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of garbage. And you need to check yourself. Get checked. before you get wrecked, quite literally. Idiot. It's like the people that lose somebody when they're younger to a car accident and they don't own up to the fact that it's that person's fault. Like, yes, we can all have an accident, but again, don't say, oh, this person was driving me somewhere, this person was driving to pick me up, this person was... Nope. No. That person 2 days from then would have done the same fucking thing in the same spot because they can't fucking drive properly and their behavior is unchecked. It's got nothing to do with you and putting them in that position. They put them in that position. Don't you ever do this, because people die and then people blame themselves forever and they never let it go. It's fucked up. There's numerous, multiple scenarios that you could never think of that could happen just because you were selfish. You want to have happy, good, fun time. Go race a goddamn go-kart or something. It is not cool, you know, and listen. You have to remember that I'm not talking about what you do by yourself on those long stretches of road with fields beside them, which you can see for like half a mile, whatever. I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. You're out in Montana where they don't have speed limits and stuff here and there and stuff like that. Not what I'm talking about at all. Not at all. And it should be like that in some places here. In Pennsylvania, you cannot do this. What this asshole is doing, you can't do this in Pennsylvania. There are too many Amish. There are too many people crossing the roads on the side of the roads where we don't have sidewalks, where there's nothing there. It's too narrow. The road's bumpy. It's windy. You cannot see around it. There's not enough viewable space for you to be doing that. So, you can't... You know, eventually this ends your life. This ends somebody else's. This is not acceptable behavior for an adult. So you need to get fucking checked. It's that simple. It's a shame the police can't be doing it like they're supposed to. I mean, like, you got accidents all of a sudden piling up. Well, gee, I guess cops should drive around and pull people over for fucking speeding and illegally passing and behavioral issues when driving behind people, because you can. Somebody's following too close, you can pull them over for that. I don't give a flying fuck what you think. The reason you cops in this area don't do that, and because trust me, they do it elsewhere. The reason you don't do it is because you drive around this area in your gigantic fucking trucks and you do it to everyone. You do it nonstop, so therefore you're not enforcing it. Just like the asshole I saw testifying that he's, you know, he's speeding down the road. Remember, he caused an accident. He slammed into somebody, completely innocent, caused an accident. And the reason he caused the accident was because he was driving too fast and he was responding incorrectly. You don't have to fucking go speeding. Do you see how far that guy was from me? Did it look like I was unsafely driving to catch up with him? I didn't illegally pass I waited and I still had no problem catching what this guy is doing. Still. And you want to justify, oh, I gotta speed like an asshole. No, you're an asshole. You're a fucking asshole. Now, listen, we can laugh all we want about the cop that went viral for saying that to somebody he pulled over. But you have to understand about that situation is he checked himself in that moment. That's a good cop. He checked himself. Do you know how he did it? He laid into him, but he let him go. He gave him a warning. That's how you check yourself. Okay? So, yeah. There it is. And, like, the point is, you don't have... You should care about this, obviously, and enforce it. But stop trying to pretend like you can't do it. Just because you can't sit somewhere. No, you want to sit there and be lazy as fuck and watch your YouTube on your phone in your car and get some scammer to sit here and fuck around with your instrumentation some more endlessly. You want to be a moron and park yourself somewhere in some fucking church parking lot where you can't be seen, and then cleverly catch somebody speeding, so you get that little promotion, that little detective, sergeant, whatever the fuck promotion you're trying to get, where you were sneaky, okay? You know you're doing it. All these assholes are doing it. And this is the issue. The issue is they're going to work and they're being whiny little crybabies. I deserve a promotion. I deserve a promotion. No, you don't. If you have to do that, no, you don't. Earn it. Earn it. Earn it. I owned a fucking business and went to a restaurant. I was a business owner. Went to a restaurant and I was told I had to work up to management. Stupid fucking decision. Literally a moron makes that decision. Has a business owner in front of him, says, yeah, we should make this. Clearly you have delegating skills and stuff like that. You clearly have this stuff. But no, you're a moron. So anyway, I did that. Didn't bitch, just did it. And this was the problem. This was the issue. Because I was good, had that experience, worked up in there. The good employee was put down by the other employees already there that never amounted to fucking jack goddamn squat. And they endlessly sit there and make you look bad because they are on the inside and they have the insider information, knowledge, yada, yada, yada. They know how to mess with people. So, just like these fast food fucking places that have career motherfuckers that sit there and erode the checks and balances from within. You have it at police stations too. You have some dumbass motherfuckers, and specifically ones that get promoted and they're in there because daddy. Now, there's some ones that might be good. There's some ones that might be good. You never know. But again, always be suspicious and watch over that stuff. If you know that they're people that aren't going to fuck around, then you don't got to watch them. It's that simple. That's why those sheriffs need to be out there doing it themselves too. Police departments manage the same fucking way. Okay? You're good people. Sometimes need a little kick in the rear. They're a little, every day from the next isn't so great. One day, you're on top of the world. The next day, you're not. Shit day, okay? So sometimes you're working, you're dragging your feet. Sometimes the other person that's there that sees that, that's a leader, needs to recognize, oh, I just have to get beside him and realize, show him how slow he's going. I just have to sort of kind of sit there and be like, yo, like, let's do this together and help him out and go at a little bit of a faster pace. And suddenly he kind of, he'll pick it up and try to match. He didn't kind of like that very much. You stepping in, trying to do his. So it's just going to be like the sort of thing where, hey, I'm here to help. But if he's a good person, he's going to be like, yeah, I can do it myself. I can do it myself, yada, yada. And they want to try, they will try. The people that are going to the people that are going to fuck around are the people that are going to walk away or continue to be lazy or dumb, or they're going to act out and do stupid stuff or something like that. The moment you walk away, they're not going to keep doing it. Or they're going to even do that while you're there, sitting there, standing there, motivating them, trying to just work at a faster pace, motivate them, and they're acting fools again while you're there or the moment you step away. All right? There's the difference. It's that goddamn simple. That's how you know who's fucking. It's literally that simple. And you don't think I don't know how to fucking do that? You're dumb. You're dumb. You don't know how to do it. Idiot. And endlessly, people can't do this simple task of understanding how to motivate people. Well, on a police station, I got news for you. If your chief of police ain't fat as shit, and he's making more arrests than you, and he's showing you up, what is everybody else in the department gonna start to do? It's called positive camaraderie, positive reinforcement and competition, not real competition. Yeah. And there's a lot of fucking adults out there that are just bully assholes. They are bullies and they are fucking assholes. And that's this fucking guy right there in that fucking car. So when I can easily call it out and tell you what the solution is, there's no excuse. Zero. None. The people up top push the people down low. Now get down and obey every word. It's not how it's supposed to be. We elect our fucking officials. We pay taxes. Does that mean the cops work for you? No. Stop that. They work for the police department. But you fund it with your taxes. So it's rational to feel that way. You don't say it. It's rude. If you were a cop, would you want that? Making a mistake. Something's happening. Somebody's recording you already. Okay. Do you understand? What you have to understand is, because there is so much Republican state media right now, and Republicans are the bad guys. Remember, they gave Trump all the power, and they're actually trying to take over the government. It's an oligarchy. It's a republic. It's an oligarchy republic. Autocracy. And What this means is that the people up top push the people down low, and you better get down and obey every word. It's wretches and kings. And for a while, all you're just going to have is a divide where you either rise to the top and become rich, or you're poor. The middle class goes away because the police become Nazis. They're turned into controlled authorities. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And would you want that? Again, it sounds good when you're on the job as a cop, because your intent probably is a lot of the time to catch bad guys. That is your intent. But now try to take yourself out of that when you're not a cop anymore. Understand that once you're a cop, things just are a little bit different. You feel a lot more protected because you have immunity. What you have to realize about cops is if they use their gun in self-defense, it's immunity. It's just not dealt with the same way as a civilian. It's looked at differently. So, and likewise in almost any situation. So, do we let truck drivers speed? You know, a cop oftentimes uses the excuse that he's a better driver and he can rationalize speeding and stuff because they're better drivers than you. Sure, it's reasonable. Doesn't make it right. There's reasonable stuff out there, but it doesn't make it right. So while that sounds reasonable, there's still a pushback from the other side where you have to arrive at the correct conclusion and say, well, but this causes an accident. You know, that again, that guy he could have followed the person just fine, caught up to him maybe down the road. There's cameras everywhere now. We're going to get him. But now he runs into an innocent person. Now you've involved the public just because you are being unsafe. Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So would you want the Republicans that are giving Trump all the power where he's doing all this illegal stuff where he's not allowed to be doing it. Even a lot of the people that voted for him can admit they're sort of not happy with him. He's doing a lot of stuff they don't agree with, the war and stuff. You have to understand that he's doing that regardless of what Congress and stuff says. A lot of times, they're not happy about it either. It doesn't make them look good. He's just doing it, and so that's the kind of unchecked power you can't allow to leak into law enforcement, where that's how he truly takes over. And it's all about these distractions where they're just endlessly having police randomly enforce ICE, and they even convinced you that this is okay. They're allowed to do this. Stop an ID stuff. That's totally not a violation of people's rights. This is all through the states that think they can do this, but that blatantly violates your rights. You can't stop and ID anybody. So if the state actually has a law that says it's stop and ID, well, actually, that violates the person's rights. It's in the Bill of Rights. And again, you as a cop, you'd want this too if you were off duty and stuff, and the government was sort of kind of looking like, let's say you picked up on this and you started agreeing with it, and you're like, yeah, you know what? Maybe it's not necessarily all Trump, but at the same time, these bad guys are gonna come in and use it to their advantage. So now it just becomes about all these people using what he is doing and can do to their advantage because the system's like that now, because he's doing it. So they can take advantage of those things too, of the lack of checks and balances and stuff like that. I mean, it's as simple as knowing that the director of the FBI can have the award-winning, like this again, our hockey team is finally doing well, and the director of the FBI is partying with them in a locker room, and he's guzzling a beer like this on camera. Guys, come on, like, That's not it. That's not checks and those aren't checks and balances. That's public drunkenness in a lot of states, stuff like that, where you're actually like you realize that if I on YouTube was sitting here and I chugged a beer in front of you and out of those context you knew it was a beer. Again, I can drink a beer. I could pour it in a glass. I just have to. I can't tell you what it is. I have to sort of cleverly just drink it and say nothing about it. That's okay, because you have no idea of knowing. Okay? But one thing you cannot do is you cannot very blatantly drink a beer in public. Can't do it. You just can't do it. And so freaking many states. So think about how many people saw this. He's the director of the FBI. How the next generation's seeing this. Do you really want your kids that are going into law enforcement and stuff like that, like the next generation that's coming up, do you want them to look at this guy and he's the epitome of law enforcement, the director of the FBI, you know, like zero experience? And so, like, again, understand what this is. It's just putting people in there that are loyalists, and so they also have these behavioral issues too, just like this guy, where it's basically like this guy. And, you know, the idea is that they're put in there because they just kind of listen, because anybody else with ethics wouldn't. They would be like, I can't believe this guy's getting away with this. So the point is, they're all criminals because that's the only way Trump does get away with it. He knows they got dirt too. So he just uses that as leverage and says, well, if you say anything about this, I will say it about this. That's what's happening. So that trickles down into everything. Everything. You know, when they're using smart TVs to spy on you just willy-nilly every day, all the time. I mean, we know this, guys. I know that you guys don't understand that stuff. That's the part that's a shame. Where, like, I feel like regular people aren't accepting that that. Let me put it to you this way. Do you guys know who John Kiriakou is? The ex-CIA agent that whistleblew the torture program? He knows all kinds of stuff. And one thing that we do know that he was allowed to tell us and remind us of, and I want to remind you, he is a CIA agent, was. Okay, he knows, okay? This isn't me saying this, getting this from some damn conspiracy theory thing. This is credible, coming from an ex-CIA agent and the one that whistleblew the torture program, and he went to jail for it. So if it wasn't true, he wouldn't have gone to jail for it, okay? He whistleblew a true thing. This guy speaks truth. He's not going to lie, for the most part, okay? And there's some things we do know that he was trying to draw attention to. And one of those things recently that he was reminding us of that they could do even way back then, okay? So if they could do it way back then, and smart TVs were not even a thing, they were barely a thing, and you're wondering why suddenly smart TVs are the thing that's really cheap. Everything's expensive. I wonder why. But smart TVs, Jesus Christ, if you want to buy a 55-inch smart TV right now for 150, didn't Linus just do an Insignia review? All right, that Insignia Fire TV off Amazon is like $150 for a 55-inch, 50-inch, something like that. Are you kidding me? Everything's expensive, yet these are... It's literally that technology. I want to remind you, CIA agent saying it was happening even as far back as early 2000s. If he knew about it then, oh, I guarantee you, Trump is doing it, of all people. So they're spying on you through your smart TV. All of you. Every day. They listen to what you say. They record it. They put it on the Palantir system. They're just building that. And it's endless shitloads of data. And they're targeting me. So that's a lot of it. Where I stream so much and they're getting pissed off and causing problems for me, my equipment and stuff like that, because they are actually storing all this stuff separate because they're attacking me. So they're literally just like storing it as top secret evidence, I'm sure. But again, what the fuck am I doing except telling you guys the shit that's happening, just like everybody else is, where you see ICE in Minneapolis literally there to harass a guy that's just filming them, you know, just like they're doing everywhere else. They're following him around because they know he's got a gun. He's not brandishing it. He's just filming them. They smack the phone out of his hand. And then once they take the gun, they shoot him. I mean, Jesus Christ. The point is, this is what they're all doing. As soon as they're recorded, they smack the thing out of their hand. They don't want to be recorded. It's that simple. So, again, that is them endlessly trying to remove evidence. Because even Trump has realized this thing may not go as he planned. Okay? So, it is very complicated, but it is happening. And that, again, you can't say it's a conspiracy when even the CIA, the ex-CIA agent with very credible information would be saying this in an interview. He's just talking about it in an interview randomly in some interviews, and he said it multiple times. He said it multiple times. This is what we're talking about, where he's doing interviews and he's just talking about this information. And this is one of the things he wants you to know about. That they're just spying on you through your smart TV. If they want to. If they want to. He's not saying that, you know, like he doesn't know that necessarily they are now. I'm saying they are. Because again, you have all of that evidence. So again, the whole point is, if he knew that they could do it way back then, oh my God, yeah, of course they're freaking doing it. Of course they are. So that's the point, going above the court, you know, having a Supreme Court that actually stands for checks and balances. And I want to remind you that that's why things take time, because behind the scenes, somebody that you don't know about is trying to do some type of investigation, and it takes time. You know, they got to be able to prove eventually the other side of that. So, you know, that's why what you have to realize about like Merrick Garland and stuff like that, while you may think you want stuff immediately to happen, you know, executive power and stuff, this was Trump abusing that. This was never something that should have. Obama did this because he came into office during a matter of national security, during a national security crisis. That is the only reason Obama needed to just sign a whole bunch of executive orders right away to start taking action, because we were so far behind. And so when Trump comes in and does this, do not be surprised when a Democrat comes in and has to try to use executive power to do some things immediately, okay? But it does not mean that they are going to immediately start then doing everything they shouldn't, because that's when you notice their ethics. They're not doing the Trump. That's what you don't want. You want to know that they won't, as much as you want that stuff now and as much as you want them to do, you can't do that. So I implore you to remember these things, and remember again which president is the one that never said that. Anytime he's recorded saying something and he wants to take it back, you know, he said something stupid and they ask him about it, that's fake news. He never said that. Every fucking time. No other president has ever acted like this. That's it. It's right there. He wears a hat that says I was right about everything. Who does that? This is the behavior and act of a government that has been caught doing so many illegal fucking things behind the scenes that they are crashing and burning and digging a deeper and deeper hole now that he's in there now and he can. So that's why they are doing this. That's why it's happening, and it's worse. And it looks like stuff like this, where you have real citizens willy-nilly every day thinking about Trump, that behavior. Yeah, I can do whatever the hell I want. And then similar to, police that are also civilians and stuff, it affects them too. And then also them having the issue where they're just trying to catch the bad guys, and they see an escalation in this too. So oftentimes they would spy on these people and their house, the smart TVs, what they watch, to try to know how to change your narrative. And you get what I'm saying? They can do that. If they know what you're watching, they know what you spend your time watching. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Um. So just want to remind you, a good defense to that is don't be too easily influenced by things. Just remind yourself this is a recreation thing, like music and stuff like that. Try not to be easily influenced by lyrics, music, and stuff. Just appreciate it for what it is. Now, again, you can extrapolate. How do I get good at something? Playing the guitar, or even a TV show is sci-fi, and you're inspired to make a science project or do something with science. Great, but if you're not doing it like that, you're extrapolating from that, like essentially you are choosing to see whatever you want to see about that, and it's affecting you. It's just the part of you that is influenced again by this stuff that's in there, that again that person might have gone through or something like that, and you're relating to it but not using it in a positive manner. You're allowing it to affect you in a negative one. And so again, it's really important to remember that your influence over this stuff, that you are very easily influenced over this stuff if you kind of behave that way or something like that. Obviously, it's okay. Totally okay to act excited about music and be happy about it. You want to headbang, you want to do whatever. Who cares? That's great. It's just dancing, man. That's just, the music makes you move, right? Who cares? That's great. That's the point of it. But if it overrides, like, emergency lights are going down the road and stuff like that, and you don't turn it down and pull over and stuff, you're wrong. You're wrong. And I have to do this too. Like something will happen, like there's a busy intersection or something like that. I like to listen to my music loud too. But I will accept the fact that, hey, like, there's times where I headbang and I'll drum on my steering wheel. So maybe not play music when I'm trying to, like, pay attention to the traffic. It's really, really busy intersection and stuff like that. I'll wait till I'm out of this little area, and then I'll turn it on. I'll actually do those things. So I want to remind you, you can have checks and balances for yourself. You can do that, but you got to start somewhere, and it's not being woke. It's not the point of doing this is to remind yourself that if you had somebody that you cared about, like you had a daughter, a son, cousin, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, sibling of any kind, anybody, friend, significant other, if you had somebody that you cared about, you would want others to use that same mentality when treating that person and being around that person. You wouldn't want them to act like this fucking guy on the road when when you know they're driving somewhere and you're caring about them and stuff like that. You want to know that they're safe and that this guy's not on the road. Okay, that's reasonable. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about, knowing that you can feel safe driving down the road in the United States. And, like, you do, most of the time, you know, people clearly don't. They don't. Because of stuff like this. And then he's endangering his family too. He has a family in that car. He endangered everybody's lives around him on the road. The horse and buggy, people he passed before that, the kids playing in the yards that, once in a while they sort of meander out in the road and don't pay attention. That is not good. I mean, that's you're terrible if you're just swerving around all over the place and you're driving like that. So, yeah. Yep, no street racing. No street racing. You're a piece of shit if you do stuff like that. You are a piece of trash. Like I said, there's professionals that do it. You aren't the professional. Again, you getting in your car with your you get no going in that car, taking a ride down the bayou. We're gonna go and getting a drug deal going on. We're gonna go ahead and whip around them corners. We're gonna go in a circle and we're gonna drive real fast. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're took a job. It took Joe Biden took your job. It wasn't Trump. It was Joe Biden. He took your job. You don't think about things very long. You just get in your car and you just start kind of fucking swerving around and expect people to get the hell out of your way. So that's the point. These people, they don't think about things real long. They just get real distracted. So, we have to not be distracted. We have to pay attention and make sure our rear cameras are pointed correctly so that we can catch people and stuff like that. We gotta do those things because that damn it. Damn it. Do you want to see another one? It wasn't like this though. It was just another illegal thing going on. It was a different day. So took your job. They took your job. He took your job, didn't he? Took your job. Durr. So let's get another one up here. This one's just funny. And look, I'm more concerned about the idiots that are doing this, that like they're just not all there. You know what I mean? Like schizophrenia or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I wonder what's going through somebody's head, like when they kind of do something like this. You know, like again, Alzheimer's, whatever it may be, dementia, whatever it may be. Because you know, let's not be too harsh on the guy that has an Aussie sticker on the back of his truck. Okay, let's not be too harsh. Okay, he's got an Aussie sticker. He's at least partially cool, right? But you know, I do sort of wonder what's going on with these people. So I'm gonna show you something here. Hey, some of them boo David Draymond too. So you gotta listen. You gotta remember, like, some of them are just idiots. You know, I mean, if you boo David Draymond, you're a fucking retard. Okay? Like the guy is a phenomenal vocalist. I don't care what you personally think about him. He's phenomenal. If you boo David Draymond, you're just dumb. Like, the guy is literally going to pour his heart into everything he does, and he's talented. So it just doesn't even, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. You're just choosing to be negative, regardless of how good, you know, like, there's some political thing behind that, or some dumb bullshit like that. Yeah, everybody hates him for some strange reason. Why? Yeah, like, politics or everything. Like, you people, man. That's an American thing to be so hateful like that. Anyway. 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 Let me see if I can figure out where this is. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Hold on. I think it's this. I just have to find it. I don't know. Oh, yep, there it is. So, hold on. I think I'm actually leaving there. So this guy's parked. You guys know how I talk about how people just randomly park on the sidewalk in front of a store. There's a whole parking. Look at all this parking lot. There's a big ass parking lot, and then we'll just have a giant truck or SUV parked right on the sidewalk. It's incredibly illegal. Can't do it, and they're just there. So that's what this guy was doing. Let me see if I can get. Okay, it should be right here. We should be able to see him right there. He is. See him? What's he doing? Like, what? What the hell is that? Why? What the fuck? And he was just there sitting in his truck. It wasn't there with nobody. He was in it. He was just there. Why are cops not doing anything? All a cop has to do is drive in, turn his lights on, and the guy's gonna pull away. Guarantee you. And then if he doesn't pull away, he just sits there because he thinks you're pulling him over. You get on the blowhorn, you go, hey, please move your car off the sidewalk. Citizen, you are blocking a fire lane. It is illegal to park your vehicle on a sidewalk. Please move your vehicle. And then if he doesn't move, well, yeah, then you can get out and say, well, this guy's fucking nuts. I literally like was giving commands over the thing. Everybody heard it. Several people turned and looked. And this guy, man, he just couldn't. I gave him every opportunity to move. So now you can actually see how that works? You see how that works? Instead of you just harassing him, you gave him every opportunity to. That's how that works. I guarantee you, he's probably not. He's probably gonna be like. He's probably gonna be like, I work for God. I'm doing this because, God sent me here. And, I'm fucking nuts because I went to church every day. And I believe in God. And I'm a psychopath now. And when I get old, I'm not going to remember anything except that I work for God. And he's going to send me on all these fucking missions. And I'm just going to sit on random sidewalks in front of stores. Yeah. He's gonna be like, I work for God. Oh, do you? So, um, one thing that I was going to show you too. I don't think it's on this one. I'll show you maybe a different day. I wasn't trying to get him in trouble, but this is a really big issue. And so if you guys know, you guys know I go to Sheets sometimes, and the Sheets that's near this store that I'm at here. So I swear to God, like, as I was at the Sheets and I pulled into the Sheets, I literally watched an Amish dude. He was like a teenager too. He was like a teenager, or like, I don't know, like he just looked like a young Amish guy. He was not even that old. And it was just the strangest thing seeing this young Amish dude. Like, it's always really weird when you don't see an adult. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what the hell are you doing? And I swear to God, he was drinking his iced tea, driving a metal. Again, it's a tractor. They're not supposed to drive on the road because it ruins and destroys the road. The only excuse they can use is that they're crossing the street. So in those situations, when their farm is again like across a road, they are allowed to travel a certain amount of miles within a certain amount of distance. I don't even think it's miles from said farm. They cannot willy-nilly drive into Smoketown with metal wheels tearing up the street. And I swear to God, this is what he did. He didn't go in there for anything. He turned into Sheets. Metal. You remember when I showed you the other day, these metal wheels tear up and that's why they throw stones on the road that smack against your car and destroy your car. Yeah. So this asshole, with his metal wheels that are tearing up the street already, drives into a Sheets parking lot, over like all the, stuff in there, putting ruts in the road, just drinking his iced tea. And I swear to God, he did it to skip the traffic light. I swear to God, because he literally did nothing, and no cops anywhere. They don't give a shit. And this fucking, like, what are you doing out there, guys? How do you not see this? So I swear to God, he goes in there, turns in there, and he didn't do anything. He just goes through the lot, turns left out, and then turns right back down the road he was driving down now, except instead of waiting at the traffic light, he skipped the light by destroying the parking lot in sheets with his metal wheels. Like, he could have bursted some pipes or so. You realize there's pipes in there, right? So parking lots are ordinanced and zoned for rubber wheels to drive in the lot. They are not zoned for those pipes with gasoline in them for metal wheels to drive. So if you do this enough times, again, I understand that big trucks go in there again, but that's not those aren't metal wheels digging in to the ground with enough friction that, again, over time, it very well could crack a pipe. Because, again, this lot isn't designed, just like when they drive down the road and then, you're so fucking dumb. You're like, oh man, I wonder why we have so much flooding in here. We replaced these pipes here, yada, yada. Oh, right. That's right. You have endless Amish driving up 322. I swear to God, Amish. This has happened to me before. Amish will take a tractor, not one with rubber wheels. I don't even care about that. But again, remember, you have to inspect your car. It's got to be inspected to drive it down the road. You spend shitloads of money for this. Yep, it has to pass an inspection and get a damn emissions. This is expensive. Meanwhile, this asshole in a tractor can just drive all the way from fucking East Earl all the way up 322 to Ephrata, up like into Hershey with a tractor, a metal tractor tearing up the road all the way. Right out of East Earl. Oh, gee, I wonder if the East Earl police station does a goddamn thing. Gee, I wonder. No, they stare at cameras all day. Yep. You know how I know that? You can go flying through East Earl. Flying. Because it happens to me all the time. I get people tailgating me through there all the time. They illegally pass and they go around me. Flying. 80 miles an hour. But the moment that you are at a traffic light, and I did it on purpose because I wanted to see it happen. Oh, and immediately it happened. If you're at a traffic light and you're pissed off that this light for the fucking third day in a row hasn't changed, so you get out and flick off the light the entire time you're trying to get there and make it obvious it's not changing. And as soon as you get out to do this and express your anger, then the light changes. No, the cops are sitting there watching you controlling the light. And then I swear to God, the next day when I swear to God, as I'm doing this and I'm pulling out of there and I'm irritated and I pull out of there and my tires go, there's a cop. Oh, and there's another one. Did they pull me over? No, because they know I didn't do anything wrong. They were just watching the camera. Yep. So they don't fucking do anything. They just watch cameras. Yeah. Yeah. So now you understand what we're talking about? Why a police department does certain things? You see stuff out of context. They're just illegally, like, sitting here watching what everybody's doing. You know that's illegal. If you're law enforcement, you actually can't use CCTV cameras for that. The FBI can, but you can't. You actually can't be doing that. Yeah, because it's thought, again, just like I said, that you are now meddling in the public. Because you can actually sit here and meddle in the public and screw around with people. So that's the point. And just like when I went into, if you remember, when I went into, I told you I went into Lancaster City the one day, and it was like obvious they were doing it. They intentionally got me to hit every single light. Not even not even an exact, like, every one. And I knew I had enough time to get there. Like, I mean, it was they were gonna, like, it was close, but I mean, like, I knew what I needed, and I mean, 15, 20 minutes, I can go in there and be like, yeah, I need this drum head, this, and this. It took 5 minutes. It didn't even take that long. And I literally got there, like, right as they were closing. And so, like, the point is I would have had plenty of time, but, like, they're doing this on purpose. The point is they're trying to get you to react. They do that. You are mad by the time you get to the next light. So if they're doing this with lights, just like you see here on the platform where they're fucking around with my bit rate and all this other shit, and then you react, the point is they frame this a certain way to somebody behind the scenes. The point is they sit here and they go out of their way to meddle in the public for a reaction. So again, this is all, a lot of this, just like I said, is the smart TV thing, where they're using that 5 gigahertz connection because unfortunately I told them about it. God damn it. And I don't even get money off that. You know, the CIA is using my fucking idea, and I don't even get money off of that shit. And they're like, oh, he's like, good idea. Yeah, they're using it because they're watching this whole fucking thing. You're not CIA, you moron. You never will be, because you're an idiot. So, I want to assure you that this is what's going on, where we just have a lot of people that are idiots doing these positions, and this is what you get when you get a bunch of retards in law enforcement like Kash Patel. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday too. Yesterday? Or was it 2 days ago? I think it was 2 days ago, right? I think it was actually 2 days. But we yeah, because it was the 8th, I believe. We talked about, you know, we recapped the salary, perks, all that stuff that a director of the FBI makes, and just everything that idiot is doing that is opposite of what the highest level of law enforcement in the country should be. And again, there was probably a million people such as James Comey himself at the FBI that were a bajillion times more qualified, yes, a bajillion, than Kash Patel. Okay? It's insane. It really is. Why is Pete Hegseth Secretary of War? You know, why? The guy's a Fox News anchor. All right, I said I wasn't going to be on here long, and then I wasted your time for an hour and a half. Sorry about that. The point is that, you know, when these things happen, other shit always happens. It never fails. You know, I mean, if it's not even a scammer running bullshit, you know, the point is you're off your flow, you're off your pattern, and that's what they want. And so yeah, the reverse motherfucking camera was pointed at the damn ground. Okay, you ain't seeing shit. Now, coincidentally, there was somebody. If he was behind me, If there wasn't another car behind me and he was behind that other car acting a fool, it would have seen him doing it because he would have been on my ass doing it. But he wasn't able to because the car behind him was following correctly. So it was just this sort of thing where this actually happened recently too. I had a car and I saw it was pointed down and I'm like, damn it. But you could see at that time because the car was so close, following so close, um, you could actually see the front of the car, and it was literally like a gap of like that. And it's like you're really, it's 3 seconds, right? So I got news for you. That's in that driving manual in Pennsylvania. Just read it. Okay, if it's in there, you can pull them over for it. Okay, I don't give a flying F shit fuck what it says anywhere else. If they're teaching you that, there's something in PA that says, yeah, you gotta be that distance. So it's 3 seconds. Okay, all you gotta do is know that the reason they do that is because the distance becomes more or less depending on your speed. So yeah, if you're going like fucking 5-10 miles an hour in bumper to bumper traffic, it makes sense that you're a lot closer because you can stop. Nobody gives a shit. Hell, if you hit somebody going 5 miles an hour, I mean, give me a break, right? That's the point. 3 seconds. Okay? That's all it is. That's all you gotta fucking do, man. So I'll tell you how to do it. Car's in front of you, and it's at that telephone pole. Okay? You count 3 seconds. How long does it take you to also reach that telephone pole that fucking car is in front of you? That's it, you retards. That's all you have to do. Every one of you goddamn retards that's like, duh, you can't say there's a distance, duh. Yes, you can, morons. Morons. It's 3 seconds. So when looking at a camera, if played back, I can fucking tell that you were clearly, it took you like fucking 1.5 seconds to get from that telephone pole that I was just at and for you to reach that point. Yeah, you're going too goddamn fucking fast. You are literally on my ass. That's the point. The point is, you didn't simply slow down and give space and then follow at the same speed of whatever I'm going. You're going fast to get me to drive fast, asshole. So, 3 seconds, bitch. That's what you go. 3 seconds, bitch. I'm waiting for the day somebody doesn't know what Sifu means. I'm waiting. So, again, it's just that simple. 3 seconds, man. So, again, the faster you go, the more distance you're going to need because you're going faster. Oh, what? Brilliant deduction! Holy shit! So why don't you do it? And why does every fucking cop tailgate me? Every single one. Every single fucking cop. Why do you tailgate? Because you're dumb and you didn't know it said that. That's why. I studied that thing like the back of my fucking hand, and you didn't know it said that. You're this dumb. It's pretty easy shit. Oh, wow. That's so smart. Duh. That must be a rule. Duh. God, you're dumb. we'll just we'll just follow whatever distance we want. That's not a duh law dur. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I got news for you. It ain't just Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's pretty universal, man. That's pretty universal. So, look, I want to remind you guys, I love Top Gear and I love cars and racing and stuff in the right place at the right time. Okay? This is why you hate cops too. Instead of it being a general message that you just hate bad ones, just like you'd hate any criminal. A bad cop's a criminal. It's somebody using the badge to get away. I mean, he's violating rights. It's a terrorist. It's all you gotta rationalize. So the thing that needs to be happening that we need to reverse is there should be stricter punishment for people that are law enforcement and violate the law, not immunity. Like, you shoot somebody and end their life, things happen. You don't just get to be like, oh, it's self-defense. Listen, even as a martial artist, there's so many times where, like, people get into a firefight, and I'm thinking, like this thing where it's like, it's not like it was a situation where it was back and forth where the dude had, like the dude has a fucking shotgun or a pistol or something and he's right in your face. You do whatever you got to do. Okay. But I'm talking like there's so many times where somebody's running. Somebody's literally running. And the cop has every opportunity. The guy has a gun in his hand. He has a loaded gun in his hand. They're going to kill him anyway. He's going to go into a house. They're going to kill him. He knows that. Why can't he just shoot him in the leg? He can. He can. There's nobody around. It's an open sidewalk he's running down. Nobody's standing outside. Literally. All you do, stop running for literally 2 seconds. Breathe out. Sink your knees slightly. Point at the back of the leg and pull the trigger. He's going down. And it's not fatal. He ain't getting back up either. Trust me, he's going to try to run. He's going to be like, ah! Oh, God! Ah! Yeah, we're just talking about shooting anybody in the back. You don't do that. But the leg. Why don't you ever do that? I feel like I never see this. Ever. Yeah, you know why? Because they're scared. They think that the person's going to go down and shoot him the moment that, you know what I mean? Like he's got a gun. That's what they're scared of. He's not going to do that. You think as you shot him, he's shot in the leg and he falls forward. Now he's going to suddenly get all of this strength to turn around and shoot you. Okay. I have news for you. Your gun's already pointed at him. Now you have a definitive self-defense thing. You shot him in the leg the first time. He went down. It's right on body cam. Turns around and tries to lift his gun. You can shoot him again. Okay? But you got to give him that chance. Like, the fact that, like, there's so many of these interactions where we don't give the person a chance. Where, like, there's somebody running or something like that. They did something stupid. They shouldn't have done. They don't mean to hurt anybody. And, you know, these days they're going to take a drone in and just shoot them. Again, that's all that's going to happen. Everybody out there, if you are even thinking about doing this anymore, you know, like committing these stupid crimes, these ridiculous things where you run around with guns and shit, it's all that's going to happen. You're going to get into a situation where you're going to run, they're going to find you, you're going to get into a thing, and they're going to send a drone thing in, and the drone's going to take you out. It's not a person, it's a drone. And they can see you on a camera. Okay? And they're going to send it in a window you don't know about. Something like that. You're not getting out of that. Don't do it. And then likewise, the cop, I think, has a responsibility to do everything about that beforehand. So why can't we... You know, like, again, I understand you want your right to carry. I'm not even saying I disagree with that. Like, rubber bullets, when somebody else has a gun, it feels like a joke. I understand that. It actually makes sense. But from a self-defense standpoint, and I know how martial arts works, that makes sense to me. Like, the leg, taking them down, and then the point is that gives you a couple of seconds. Put the gun down, put the gun down, put the gun down. Lay flat, put the gun down, lay flat. You know, now you yell your commands. He's incapacitated. He is bleeding. But he's probably not going to shoot at you. It is far more likely he's going to stop and shoot you if you didn't shoot him in the leg. Now, if he tries to shoot, his vision's probably blurry. He's falling. Okay? And, like I said, if he actually does turn and point, you're already pointing your gun at him. So the point is, now, as you've shot, now you slowly walk forward and give him those commands and handle the situation. And there's probably other cops running to that area too, right? Okay. I understand it's not normally how you'd think about a situation. I just think we need to do that more. You know, again, not shooting vital, but just down. Shoot down. Why? You know, why isn't that a thing? You know, and I understand ricochets, I understand forensics, but that's the politics of it. That's why they don't do that. And it's just like, that's a politic thing. No. If we're talking about lives and preventing situations, you got to eliminate the politics from it. If what you should be doing is what you should be doing, and you're eliminating that because it's a hassle, you're going to have more forensics and this and that. There's a chip out of the sidewalk. We got to picture it. I don't care. That's more jobs. Just more jobs. There you go. Joe Biden took the job. No, it's Trump. That's more jobs, man. There you go. That's the problem. They took a job. Took a job. So anyway, obviously every situation that's not the case. That's just like rare scenarios and stuff where, you know, the person's running towards a neighborhood or something, and you really don't want to like run in a house, or, you know, I'm just talking like rare scenarios. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like the person, you know, I even said, again, they're running down the sidewalk, there's nobody around. Okay, you don't do this in a mall. You don't. God, don't do it in a mall. Okay, like obviously, like you don't go into a school and start shooting up the place, which is why it takes so long. Okay, okay. This If you force the person into a desperate situation, they start taking hostages. Okay, that's why you don't do that. And I understand that. Okay, but you have to understand if you can prevent it before it gets to that, you should. So, in the situation where they're just running down a sidewalk and you can clearly identify there's nobody around, there's no officer standing in front of them either or anything like that. No, they're standing in front of them. They're going to probably tackle them, okay? So you wouldn't shoot, you know. But again, why not just try to shoot his ankle or his foot or the back of his calf or something? Why not? Why not? Um, so I think that this is going to be the thing that you need to work on as cops, and I'm going to tell you why before I go, okay? Everybody, you're laughing, but as soon as I tell you why, you understand. Drones are going to replace you, and so is AI. I already just explained how a drone goes in, and so you don't want this. You don't want police to become something that it's a controlled thing, because then it's not police, it's then your government doing it. You want you doing it. You want citizens doing it. Um and so I warn you that if you don't show up this AI, this drone, and show them that you're better, I worry that that's all they're gonna do. They're gonna actually drone strike people that are just running now instead of having you run after them. Do you get what I'm saying? So we have to go back and start at the beginning. You know, when you see a lot of this happening and you can't sit anywhere, there's nowhere to sit. You just have to drive down the road sometimes. um, and I see some of them care clearly. I do. I see it, but I don't see enough of it. That's the concern is just that it's very few. That's the concern. The concern is the behavior, um, and reaction to what I'm trying to do, where it's like a very defensive behavior posturing, where it's like it is. It's just very defensive. It's like, man, you feel the same way. You're a cop. You have immunity, so you don't. That's the point. If they took away your immunity for self defense, you wouldn't feel that way anymore. It's all that. You can defend yourself with a gun and nothing happens to you. It's true. Just slap on the wrist if you unalive somebody. Is that right? Not really. I'll bet there's plenty of good cops that go their whole career without that ever happening. Like obviously there's gonna be a certain self-defense situation, here and there, but again, I bet there's plenty of cops that de-escalate and never get into a situation where they're shooting back. They always call for backup, plan it, strategic, that sort of thing. It's not, like you have to do that. Those are the departments doing it right. And everybody's like, what are they doing? Why are they going to school? There's kids in there. What are they do? Shut the fuck up. You think cops want kids to get... Shut the fuck up. Yeah, the cops in the departments that are showing up at people's houses for mean posts about how brown their water is. Guys, that's mean. We have to send a cop to your house because you're picking on the government. Okay, yeah, that department I would believe would do something like that. Yes. That department, yeah. The East Earl department, yeah. Around here, yeah. Like again, the departments around here where blatantly that's illegal shit. They're not out on the road, they're watching cameras because they're fat fucks. And they impound cars that they don't, because again, they don't want to be at the scene. They just want to be rude and stupid. Yeah, absolutely. That station, yeah, sure. Which is why this is happening, by the way. The state police have contracted East Earl to patrol around here. They're supposed to be doing it. They're not. They're just not. No, it does cause problems for them because they can't. They do have a harder time enforcing things because like residential roads and stuff. But you, as a cop, you can enforce traffic. Anything to do with traffic, it don't matter. You can still enforce that. So if they've contracted you to enforce the traffic and the roads in that area, and you're just sort of not doing it, I actually almost wonder why you're contracted to do that. Almost like there's some sort of sneaky thing going on there where you do that so that you can get away with some illegal fucking shit. Because you know that if your guys aren't patrolling the roads, well, then you can do just plenty of illegal fucking things, can't you? Why is somebody removing a like? Why did it go from 6 to 5 likes right when I said that? Why are we just like removing likes and stuff randomly at random times? Why do we do those things? Why do we act like children? Oh wow, we were at 7 likes on the stream, and just that little bit of word being uttered about something about the East Earl police. Wow, down to 2 likes, guys. So again, either they are fucking around with my shit, which they are, or in addition to that, like I said, this impersonation scammer that is socially engineering and is tapped to do these things by foreign governments is the scammer that is manipulating you to dislike other people. They're sitting here doing those things right when you're in here, right when I'm talking about you, right when I said that. That's what it's for. It's social engineering. So, just like the trolley mentality of seeing a bunch of retards make a meme and stuff, everybody wants to immediately jump on that stereotypical bully, make fun of this person because it's a meme. Okay, we shouldn't do that. No memes, no bullying. This is we gotta get rid of this. Okay, we have to cancel the thing we should cancel, and that is adults pretending like anybody's free speech or the way they act impedes or has anything whatsoever to do with your life at all. If you go out of your way to find something wrong with what somebody is saying, you're a terrorist. That's it. Because again, that's political. You politically believe people shouldn't be allowed to just say whatever they want. But I want to remind you, it's your free speech that gives you the right to feel that way. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the right to even feel that way. You just have to feel whatever way the fuck your government tells you to feel. Okay? So, don't forget, you got plenty of examples of countries like this. Just look at facts and information. So I'm seeing shitloads of hacking going on. I just watched all the icons on my desktop refresh. So again, I want to remind you that they're just literally sitting here trying to, look at information, hack into stuff and all that. And they've been doing this illegally for a long time. My bit rate going around all over the place, affecting my internet and stuff. Oh yeah, it's extremely malicious and it's incredibly illegal. And, like I said, just like this thing with my family that was really personal and stuff, even the state police said this sounds real super personal. Yeah, no fucking shit. Like, it's literally something that happened randomly with no proof of anything except some people said some shit. So, arrest warrant. The guy's in jail forever. No, that's a bunch of cops lying. What the fuck? And I already mentioned the thing the other day. The point is, if it were that, and it was like a thing where he was looking at stuff and stuff like that, it wouldn't have been that, because that's not enough. The point is he would have had to have been distributing or something. That was why I was like, that's the point. Like, it's not illegal. Like just literally nothing. And the whole point is that, well, they're just trying to get me to do things and do illegal stuff. So there's a record. So there's nothing for me. But, maybe he had some stuff forever ago. So, now they're trying to rile that up. And that's the point. Forever ago, these people the point is they admitted that they made it up. They have a history of doing that. They just say some shit. They're also scammers. Like I already pointed out that they're the ones with the records. One of them was caught driving without a license and stuff like that. That was conveniently the one that used my phone number as a reference for something without even asking me. How did they even get my number? So like this is the point, is like, and they're the ones endlessly watching my stream and stuff like that and screwing around and lying to people, like all these things they've always said are lies. So the point is, did the cops actually ask any of us this? No, they just went around and asking people uncomfortable sexual questions and stuff like that, trying to get you to say things. What do you expect me to say to an uncomfortable sexual fucking question? It's not actually you asking me a legitimate question. It's an incrimination bullshit. So that was the point, guys. Like, what you have to realize is that's what they're doing. It's all that shit. So if, your government, doesn't like you, your locals don't like you and stuff, they're just going to start using the cops to try to cause a problem for you. So this is, again, it's PP&L. It's the power company in this state. And they are illegally using third-party companies to give us our power. You know how, like, that scam where you have, like, another power company on your electricity bill? That's incredibly, insanely illegal. They can't do that because the point is they have a monopoly on the power in the state. So the point is they are selling your data and having a third-party power company come in and just randomly say, oh yeah, they're giving you extra energy and stuff. So you can't, even though you have a monopoly, you run all the power, you can't possibly make ends meet? No. 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 The point is, I called this. The point is, they endlessly never fix things. This state If I drive down the road, that's why I don't like me driving down the road. And they're moving the bit rate around all over the feds would, the Democrats are going to come in here and fuck this state in the ass. And they know it. This state is trying to get Republicans in here. That's why. And so I'll drive down the road and there'll be a telephone pole, I swear to God, bolted. Like a second, somebody hit a pole in an accident the night before. And this is how they fix it. They will literally take the pole and bolt the fucking broken piece of pole to the other pole. Fixed. Like, it's still broken years later. They will never fix it. Years later, it's still there. The stones where they don't fix the road, they just throw stones on them to ruin your car and damage your car. This freezes brake calipers, destroys exhaust. It literally can seize up your brake calipers. It seizes them up. You're getting stones lodged in there, man. Smacking against stuff. I already pointed out, if one little wheel sensor on my vehicle doesn't work, oh yeah, the whole fucking thing just can't fucking, it's driving like shit. Can't even use the fucking system right. The goddamn electricity doesn't work properly. Everything fucking sucks. And then, you fix that one little wheel sensor and suddenly everything works great again. And you're so goddamn fucking stupid, you don't understand that these newer cars, it's just worse and worse and worse. And you're like, duh, even a car from the mid-2000 teens is having these problems. Duh, maybe we shouldn't fucking do that anymore. But no, we're a bunch of retards here in the Pennsylvanias. We're a bunch of retards here in the Pennsylvanias. The only thing we amounted to is Will Smith. Yep, the only goddamn fucking thing we amounted to, well, maybe the Philadelphia Eagles. Nobody gives a shit about the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. But, the only thing, Will Smith, the Philadelphia Eagles. Yep, and then you come here and the Amish aren't even that enjoyable anymore. They're just a bunch of fucking assholes. The women are nice. Oh no, the women, they're super nice, really good people. Very, very religious. The men, not at all. Completely conniving, racist, disgusting dictator-like people. Yeah, they're very much like Trump. Very, very much so. So, yeah, that explains why they got the vote. Yeah, these people never voted before either. Now they were starting to vote. And I even pointed that out. That he used that. They're idiots. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They've never paid attention. They don't know about any of this. Not every politician's a liar. Some of those people, they're just as respectful as your EMTs and your cops that are good people. They have literally given their lives because they want to help. And they look like me. They're shouting to the rooftops when shit goes wrong because they care. That's it. That's why they look like that. And then you have assholes like Nick Shirley that tries to sit here and trigger the reaction. Because he's using it as some sort of fucking tool to attack these people. To get you to view them in some sort of toxic manner. What the fuck? I love people like that. You're fighting? You're getting upset? Because you care about our country and about what's happening? And somebody else is actually sitting here saying that again, we don't care as long as it's through the legal means. There's nothing legal about concentration camps. ICE is border patrol. They can't police anything. It's illegal, period. We have immigration policy, idiots. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. State overrides federal government. If the feds just randomly, the president's like, yeah, we're going to use ICE and they're going to be police and just go in and ransack cities and knock phones out of hands and violate the Bill of Rights and violate people's First Amendment right to film them in public and literally sit here and just impede them from walking without seizure and stuff, which, by the way, is a violation of your rights. Yeah, again, even the single act of having police on your uniform and tricking the public regularly to think that you have the authority to police is in itself incredibly illegal, because you don't represent your state or local funded and government police station. You are randomly just being told by the president, who has no authority over police, none whatsoever at all, to, kidnap citizens that may or may not be here illegally, because again, you didn't go through FBI, the proper yada yada, because again, that's funded through state, not feds. The feds get involved when they need to. He's trying to make you think it's a problem. Your state would admit to it if it was. Okay, there's very few states that are. They're just trying to get certain ones to play ball. Okay? Minneapolis should have shown you that. Okay? Okay? There's not some conspiracy with Democratic police and stuff like that. They're still just cops, guys. Just because they vote one way or another, they're not going to suddenly be like, oh, yes, let's not do anything about all these illegals and stuff like that. No, if they're actually illegal, they're just going to look at that. Like, no, this is a sanctuary city. There's a lot of people here like that because they're told to come here. We have the paperwork for it and everything. That's what's happening. And so the feds show up at their hearing in this gray area and, like, detain them right then and there because it's a gray area. That's what they're doing. They're showing up, like, after, like... It's before they have a chance to meet with legal representation, before they have a chance to prove or show anything, record it, documentation. The point is these people don't, like you and I, regularly have this readily available in any of the systems. Because it's not... It does work differently. But it doesn't mean they're not going through the process. Okay? So... God... I tried, guys. I gotta go, though. I was here way too long as it is. I gotta get some stuff done. But... Oh, is it almost 10? Oh my god. I have to get some stuff done. That's insane. I really didn't plan on being here long, but I just... Truthfully, it's a very complicated subject, and you're not gonna understand politics. You're not. Don't think you know everything about politics and you want to vote this person or that person. You're never gonna... You gotta pay attention. At some point, you just have to look at facts. And right now, Trump is using systemized things to lie to you about those facts. Real things to lie to you. And screw up the information so you don't know what it is. I mean... To actually think that CNN and Washington Post, all these big media outlets, are just randomly misreporting and lying. They're not. Fox News is the one that did that because they have to endlessly fucking lie, or not, lie to cover up Trump's lies. Okay, it's far more obviously believable. Okay? When Trump and this one fucking dude in his administration, everybody following him around is lying for him, who's a rich asshole that's pressuring them to. okay, than it is to be like, oh yeah, just everybody in the country, there's some Illuminati conspiracy, you know, there's this fucking shit. People are glitching. I've seen this. Can I do you want me to clear this up too? I'm clearing a lot of things up, aren't I? I clear a lot of shit up. That's why they want you to be as confused as possible. This next generation's like, oh, people are glitching. Aliens. Yeah, cleared that up too. I got news for you guys. There's no aliens. I cleared that up too. You're gonna have to get caught up on that. We already covered that though. There's no fucking aliens, okay? And nobody's glitching. You're manipulated. Okay? Technology today, you can't possibly understand how it works and how much they're doing. But to be perfectly honest, believe it or not, they actually have a technology. I'm not making this up. It's real, and they're doing it because they think it's funny as hell. I swear to God. They really do have a technology that makes your nose itch. And the reason they're doing this is as a tell to them that the signal is working. I swear to God. So is your nose like extra itchy, things extra? Yeah. I swear to God, it's a tell. They will make something itch on command. Yeah. So these glitches. It's a Bluetooth signal. A Bluetooth signal often operates at exactly the same signal as that ghost phantom signal coming right out of your router out of everybody's houses that they don't know is there. You know how you have a 2.4 gigahertz signal for your Wi-Fi? You have twice that hiding. Twice that. So somebody can steal your internet, steal a bunch of files really quickly and stuff like that, simply tapping into that 5 gigahertz connection that's phantom just transmitting signals from your router at your house. And it's 5 gigahertz. Do you know what else runs at 5G? Oh, 5G, that's what that means. Duh. 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 So, if they want to bounce this 5G signal, Bluetooth, again, I'll just use Bluetooth from your phone, car, whatever, bounce it right off a cell phone tower. That's right, and now they can geo-position all they want. And it's 5G. Because, you know, Bluetooth and all those 5 gigahertz connections running out of routers. So, when they limit and ban all the foreign routers and all that's left is American-made, ban all VPNs for no reason. These things protect you. If the FBI wants to get through a VPN, that is literally the snap of a finger. They have software to do it. They don't have to think. Okay? You understand that? The FBI can do it. They're not like regularly hacking. It's a systemized thing they used. Somebody helped them do that because they're the FBI. That's it. They pressured somebody to help them do it. So they have that now. Okay. That's it. It's not a good thing. Okay. Now, under regimes that aren't regimes, where there's just an administration, you're like, oh, checks and balances, only using this as necessary for actual terrorism. Okay. That makes sense. That's where the FBI should be led by somebody that has experience in law enforcement and not just randomly Cash Patel. Because, you know, Cash Patel has a problem with drinking. I can guarantee you that motherfucker has a problem with spying on you. Oh, I'll bet you he does. There is no question in my mind. If he can't even get over a problem with drinking, this is not normal behavior. Again, somebody that does that, like that's a drinker. That's somebody that's drinking. Okay? So, you know, some people go through this in their life. Okay? He's not in college 20 something years old. He's not. He's supposed to be a mature, grown ass adult that is the epitome of the top position in law enforcement that the United States has to offer. And this motherfucker can't even look forward normally. This motherfucker can't even look forward normally. Literally everything about this guy is weird as fuck. He can't even look forward normally. Like, this is just really difficult for him. That's a drug addict. That is a drug addict. Period. Okay? When somebody that you are looking at, again, you know, like other people, people act a fool and stuff like that and get mad, yada, yada. But if this motherfucker has a regular thing that he can't do, like he can't hold his eyes normal, you know, like nobody thinks that you're good at your job because you can pretend to be a soldier or whatever the fuck you think you're doing. He's like doing that. He's doing that, like, you know, very erect sort of, you know. This is normal. Well, you know, guys, we here at the stupid Trump administration, remember, this is normal for me to hold my eyes like this. This is totally normal. We here at the Trump administration, you know, we just think that I can't even, like, I have to blink a million times. We just think that, you know, we shouldn't release the Epstein files for no inexplicable reason. You know, totally a long-running sex trafficking ring. Disgusting. Involves Donald Trump thousands of times. Thousands of times his name appears. But, you know, we're not releasing the files. And, you know, eyes bulging. Eyes bulging. We're not releasing the files. Eyes bulging. Not going to give you a reason, but eyes bulging, not releasing the files. Eyes bulging. Not releasing the files. Eyes bulging. Believe me, I'm very good at my job. Standing up straight. Eyes bulging. I'm good. I'm good at my job. I'm good at my job. Yep, Epstein files. Totally. My eyes are bulging. See how observant I am? I'm totally good at law enforcement. I'm very observant. My eyes are open. It's ridiculous. What the fuck even is that? And do you see how stable this is? You know, like the 10 concurrence. I'm gonna say it like it's just like it's like Kash Patel and his retards in their office, like sort of watching it, kind of. Wait, why does he hurt my feelings? He hurts my feelings when he says things like that. He hurts my feelings. Guys, I'm Kash Patel. I'm the director of the FBI. I get paid over 200,000 fucking dollars a year, and I have whatever the fuck I want. But he hurt my feelings. Ah, wah, wah. He hurt my feelings is what he said. Wah. Yeah, the you don't realize, the part you don't realize is all you fuckers that voted for Trump, you don't realize he's the woke one. It's all those fucking pussies. If you took their power away and their wealth, just like Ass Man Gold, what are they then? That's his problem, by the way. Hey, if he wants help, there it is. That's his problem. I offered to give him a skill. He don't want it because he's an idiot. But, honestly, truthfully, again, the problem that these people have they have no idea. They will search and search and never find it in life. Your problem, your single problem, is because you're nothing without your money. It's that simple. You harass these people. You see Hassan because he's everything without that. He's the epitome of resourcefulness. He'll just give, draw people in, draw people in. Yeah. And it makes you angry because he's a nice person and people flock to him. Yep, that's your problem. You are nothing without that money. Nothing. That's the point. That's Trump's problem. That's all these assholes that are just richer than everybody else. If you take away their money, what you got to realize about a lot of times about these actors and stuff that are worth their money, there's a reason. They got plenty of skills that they are good at. Plenty. That's why they're called talented actors. They can portray this person and this person oh so well. Because a lot of times they end up learning a fucking skill just to portray a role or something. And then you won't even fucking do anything beyond what's in front of your damn computer screen. You literally just will sit here and endlessly blame all your problems on everybody, seek it out and stuff. No, it's just you. And every single time you see somebody else that's good at a skill and can be something without a fortune, that's when you attack. That's when you, yourself, have a problem. And then you sort of kind of go out and bully people because it's a problem with you. And you think that person's woke and stepping on you or something. No. You feel threatened because that's the answer. And you're lazy. That's it. You feel threatened because that's the answer and you're lazy. Everybody's lazy. There ain't a single person on this planet that doesn't exhibit some type of this. Even a scientist that works. Elon Musk probably thinks he's lazy about stuff. That guy works more than anybody else on the planet, I think. No, I mean, again, he's a complete asshole, but he does work. So, I mean, all right. He is plenty without his money. Okay? He is. Elon? Yeah. They're taking advantage of him so badly. I tried to warn him. He just doubles down. His problem is if you call him stupid, he hates you. Well, that's a problem. You shouldn't care. If somebody smarter than you thinks you're dumb, ask him why. You're an adult. What the fuck's the matter with you? Try harder. You're the woke one. You're getting all bent out of shape because some adult challenges you. Shut the fuck up and accept the challenge. It's the competition. It's they got something to offer, man. And you deny it. You don't accept around every corner. You're the pussy. You back down. You're the one that's woke. So this is a lot of people's problems, and they spread it to everybody else, where it's a behavior of, you know, people sort of looking like, you know, oh, they do nothing and stuff. They just want to play video games. Well, that's him doing that. You know, like, there are people that have legitimately credible things to talk about and say, and this is legitimately credible thing to get into, where you can help to guide developers, buyers, things like that. Assmangold sabotages things. He has so many affirmative, just declarative things that he thinks about everything and divides this into that stereotype category. And so therefore, you know, he is going to always see it this way, and nobody can ever tell him he's wrong because he knows everything. No, he doesn't, because he is nothing without his money. That guy is stupid. He blatantly gets shit wrong all the time. I don't need to point it out again. I have pointed out what he has blatantly said several times on stream that are just lies, where he is believing the wrong politics. And then I tell you what the truth is, okay? I don't need to go over it again. But one of them was the ceasefire thing, where he literally got on the stream and tried to actually say that Trump created the ceasefire. Remember the ceasefire that they were talking? Yeah, that sounds really kind of stupid now to even think about, right? Yeah. And so the point is, at the time they're talking about that ceasefire, that was clearly Biden that had organized it because he was the president. Trump can't do that. He didn't even, there wasn't even an election yet. Biden had planned that way back in March of that year, and they finally were carrying it out because the point is it takes that long to get things in motion. And so right around when the election was happening, Trump won and was coming into office. The whole point is, that's right when that stuff was starting to actually come into action. So Trump had to sign off on it because it's just a legal thing he must do. And he wasn't able to do anything about that at the time. So the point is, he is going to do that because he didn't do it and Biden did it, and he must sign it. He hasn't liked this. So he's going to try to take credit for it because he must sign it. He's putting his name on it. He wants to look good. Biden did it. So the point is, Assmangold, very often, he has a huge group of people watching from the United Kingdom, from Britain. And he doesn't understand, like, just the sheer audience that he has watching him, and he is that misinformed and that toxic about subdividing people into categories and treating them this way. That's racism. That's segregation. This guy's doing it. No, it's not. The point is, you can't be a cult leader. You have to stand for something on your own. Otherwise, you're lying and using the same thing other cult leaders do to manipulate people to like you. So he's endlessly peddling this thing where these people just love hearing him say this next thing, that sounds you know, ballsy or something like that. And it's not. It's not. Because the point is, if that guy had anybody he cared about, he wouldn't act that way. Because he would care about those people. He would think about it like that. He wouldn't be like, you know, yeah, that whole Roe versus Wade thing, that sounds like a good idea. No, he wouldn't do that. If he had a daughter that was going through, she's in high school and stuff like that. She's growing up now and guys are starting to look at her. Oh, I promise you, he's going to suddenly start changing his mind about Roe versus Wade. Suddenly, that's a really good fucking idea. Why the hell did we ever get rid of that? Yep. Suddenly she's going to get pregnant. This guy, she barely knows. She made a mistake. This kid's, you can't, Asmongold can't do that. And he could barely handle this one. Okay. That's called pro-choice. You can feel however you want about that opinion. That's called pro-choice. The right to give people the choice in those options. Where you're not some dumbass Christian with some sort of viewpoint on this and your religion gets involved. That's wrong. If church and state are separate, you're goddamn fucking stupid Christian religion that's, again, stupid in the modern world because we're disproving a lot of things in the Bible lately. If church and state are separate, then you need to start separating definitively the fact that people are making decisions to take away entire things that were decided upon in courts. This is law. Roe versus Wade. Law. And he gets rid of it. Takes credit for it, too, by the way. Unbelievable. Insanely illegal. Should never have happened. Needs to be reversed. That's insane. How dare you? You are a baby snatcher. If you act like this, you want a child and you want to snatch that kid. Now you can't, it's real. Oh, put it up for adoption. Oh yeah, okay. And again, I want to remind you, this is a cost. Do you know anything about the adoption process? You spend a shitload of money. It's not what you think. Yeah. And sometimes what'll happen is you'll adopt a bunch of people and they even warn you to keep them separate because they cause problems. They scam people. They are actually like mentally challenged, probably autistic. And instead of splitting them up, you do the right thing and spend like basically almost $1 million adopting them and making sure they're not split up. And then they ruin your entire family lying, being terrorists. Imagine that. Imagine that happening. Where you go through that. And you're just randomly thrown in jail one day for no reason whatsoever. But you spent like almost $1 million basically adopting them, choosing to do it right, not splitting them up. They have mental problems. You were told this. You were told they were scammy and they plot and they sort of do these things. But no. Okay. That's a serious situation. So the point is, Asmongold, he's not that smart. The point is, if you're smart, you put yourself in somebody else's shoes and you think about all these things. And it's also how, by the way, you relate to other people. That's why he can't do that. Okay? And that's why he thinks these people are in some stereotype category, this and that. That's why. He is mentally challenged. Asmongold is mentally challenged. Okay? He is. However, he has been doing video games and quite well. He was always. Now, I want to remind you, some people that are actually mentally challenged are uncannily good at video games, are they not? They actually are. No, they are. They are. No, that's actually true. A lot of times you put an autistic person in front of a video game, you'd be surprised how they can speed run. It's actually kind of incredible. Yeah. So some of these people that are actually extremely logical, I think it's that. I think they're very logical, and there's no part of their brain that allows them to relate to anybody else or think about emotion except in their own context, except to be selfish. It's narcissistic tendencies. And that's Asmongold. That is absolutely Asmongold. That is what he is. He is a narcissist. And it's to the point that I actually am concerned. Like, there's nothing of, his mom's boy left, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, I just, it's very concerning. So, anyway, I should get going. Boy, I went for another 40-some minutes, didn't I? The point is, I care about him. I obviously don't know him, but I care about people. And, that's partially why they're doing this. And if you remember, so remember how there's a scammer trying to... We don't super chat right now, okay? Everybody knows this, but the scammer's trying to super chat and funnel money through their system and money launder it. Now, keep in mind that a lot of this looks like UK pounds. So it's a scammer that very well might be scamming Asmongold too. He is from the UK. But again, it's possible that it's that same scammer, and again, he's just using UK pounds as a way to change the exchange rate and funnel more, again, a laundering essentially more, if that makes sense. So after that one stream, I want to draw your attention to, I am going to get off here, okay? I am going to get off stream, but I want to tell you this one thing, okay? I have to tell you this. The random super chat that this person put through right at the end of the stream when I was ending the stream and they wanted you to see it, it is important to remember that they tried to put that through in a way where I couldn't say anything about it, where I had already ended the stream and they get you to see it. The question is, what are they trying to get you to see? And right then, where I wouldn't be able to say anything. This is the social engineering. It's very important to remember that what they're saying in that is happening. They want that to happen. That is the social engineering. However, it's also important to remember that it's a lie. They're not going to directly tell you what it is. So yes, the super chat was pushed through right then. He has all his fucking bot accounts liking it faster, putting more likes on it than even the fucking stream has, even the amount of people in the stream at the time, okay? It's absurd. Okay, we've seen this a million times. Like, there'll be fucking five or eight people in the stream, and he instantly likes the fucking super chat all the way up to 15 or 20. It's just absurd. And it's a burner account that's doing it, and he's using fucking UK pounds at the same time. But remember, the super chat that came through was a very socially engineered, manipulative sort of super chat to convince you that the government is, using means to change your personality, to alter personalities. And yes, I do believe that is actually what is happening. But the point is, they want you to see that right then, so I can't protest it and talk about it, so that way you think of it in such a way that you wouldn't believe it. It seems very scammy and stuff and offbeat. So then anytime I would actually think that might be what's actually happening and then talk about it after that, now you are far less inclined to believe it, and actually far more inclined to believe I'm just a conspiracy theorist, because it seems scammy, happened random. Do you get what I'm saying? So they start with something again where I can't, it's clearly designed where I can't say anything about it right at the end of the stream. And again, very blatantly, that's sort of the thing that's happening here, where we started, again, I've already explained to you that we started not yelling, chill streams, calm, that sort of thing. And all of this is to get reactions where, you see, out of what they're doing, I have some sort of a reaction to what they're doing. And, again, that reaction, then you instantly see an influx of concurrence. Again, they're hiding concurrence until that point. So like it's just that, where you see the stream really chill and stuff like that, and you guys are trying to like it and you are watching it and you know that. But then it goes down to like 1 and 0 and stuff. And it's like, what the hell? And then you even try, you're like, oh, I see what he's saying now, and you try to come in, you try to like it or something like that, and you even can't. Right? Is this happening? The reason I know this is because I went through this. Obviously, the point is that I did this. Many other people have said this to me. This has organically happened. I've seen it happen. Okay. So for years this is going on. So that's how I know this. Obviously, the point is, we've seen this plenty of times. It's just been going on. And so some of you guys, you might not have been following all along. You've seen, sort of catching this just now. You're not going to have any clue of those contexts. So that's kind of the point, is just them counting on the fact that most people, they were de-escalating the streams for so long, moving the bit rate around, breaking up what I was saying, that they were just counting on most people. There's so much that and we're not going to be able to communicate to you what possibly could have been going on here. But I did. And it's just the same shit. And the point is, the more that we get to the truth, the more blatantly obvious this is happening. You see what happens. Even in real time, we were up to like 6 likes. Take it right back down. So this is a scammer liking it all the way up to that amount with their bot accounts and then removing them. Or B, you liking it and it legitimately coming off, because we know that it actually does happen. They've broken the like button for the specific purpose of just being able to break it. We've seen it. We've done the tests. I've shown it to you. Me literally just sitting there on the browser, hitting the like, and after I hit the like, it goes down to 0. Just take it off. We've seen it. Right in front of you. Okay? So we've done all these things. We've tested these things. We've done these. We've seen them a million times. We did that plenty of times. That wasn't just one occurrence. That was many occurrences. That was happening for months at a time. It was just sequentially. This person was slowly getting further with these scams. So until eventually, it's full-on social manipulation of the numbers. This social manipulation into, let's bully, let's troll the person that's on their way out. Let's cancel the next person because everybody's there doing it. They're all hitting the confetti and the laugh and the playing with the likes, and they're hitting gang, and yada, yada. It's that. They are manipulating, full-on social manipulation of all these people. And some of them are so stupid, you know, they're letting their kids in on it. You know, they're putting their kids on their fucking icon on YouTube, and they're so goddamn stupid. They have no idea what's going on. They just, that's fine. Yeah. Now that person, who, that person's, you shouldn't trust somebody like that. What the hell? No. When this person doxed my family and sat here and was zooming in on pictures of my family, that reaction where I was pissed, that's the correct one. That's the correct one. Yeah. It was putting pictures of my family, typing their names, their relationships to me, zooming in on them on stream, stealing all of my content, reposting it. He was literally, at the time he was doing that, he was literally using that, zooming in on pictures of my family and stuff like that. He was stealing off social media. But not only that, he was doing that while watching my live stream. He was literally watching my live stream and putting that on his screen and re-streaming it. It was incredibly illegal. There's copyright laws specifically on YouTube where you actually can't do that. You're not supposed to re-stream an already live stream. You can't do it. You're not supposed to do that. And he was just doing this all the time. So it's just data mining, social engineering, and manipulation. And yes, personal data, getting out there and stuff like that is a serious issue. But the point is, it's already out there. It's more about what people are doing with it. Like, obviously, yes, doxing is a serious issue. We know that. But again, the breaches are happening. So the point is, pay attention to who's doing it now. You know, like, you're not gonna, I think my email is literally in fucking 6 data breaches. 6. What am I gonna do about that? I'm not gonna do anything about that. You ain't gonna do anything about that. 6. Okay. You know, the whole thing where your social security number is stored on a website, on a that's what we're talking about, where you're like playing around with the website, doing something online, and some scammer and Walmart and Amazon and all these companies, they're looking at your data. So while you're messing around with this website and buying stuff or doing what you're doing, your social security number is hanging out there too. Right there with you. Just chilling for everybody to see. Along with your name, your address, your phone number, whatever the hell else they store, like, you know, like your state ID and shit like that. Because remember, age verification, they need that state ID. Okay? No, they don't. No, they don't. They can verify they can verify who you are. They're looking right through that camera. And most of you don't even have covers. And not only that, how many of you have a cell phone that's always on? That, you know, that permissions thing that you sign, that you agree to the... If you have the YouTube app, at any time, Google is allowed to stare at you through your front camera on your phone. So if you're a cop, you're anybody, I just want to warn you, Google is legally allowed to stare at you through your front camera. Legal. So, since they can do that, Russia can do it, China can do it. Oh yeah, remember? Trump said they can cyber attack us because we cyber attack them. He's totally fine with this. And remember, you know, there's a lot of stuff that our government does to you that you don't know about. Actual Trump quote after coming back from a trip to China where he gave China all of the NVIDIA chips to fuck with our fucking GPUs endlessly. He just gave them those chips so they can do this stuff. And then admitted on the way back that, yeah, we cyber attack them, they cyber attack us, it's all fine. He's ruining gaming on purpose. And probably because Barron wanted to get into it. Isn't that sad? It's probably that. Isn't that disgusting? It's even worse when you think about it like that. Because it's probably what it is. It's disgusting. So his kid wanted to do something, and just because he wants, his kid must inherit the Trump name and do what he did. Isn't that terrible? It's probably something like that. No, that's disgusting. Don't think about it like, oh, what a great, oh, he's, no, you're an idiot if you think that. You're an idiot. His father should support whatever the hell he wants. If he wants to do basket weaving, he should let him do basket weaving. Yep. Yep. That's fine. You can do basket weaving. Weave baskets to your heart's content. As long as you're happy. It's not woke. It's called being human. It's called wanting the best for them. Because that's what they want to do. They'll figure out that they don't want to do that in 10 years from now or whatever. And then they'll go into something. But the basket weaving, it'll get them there. You know, maybe they'll weave enough baskets, and then after 10 years, their fingers are so dexterous, they'll be like, okay, now I can play guitar. Now I'm really gonna play a shitload of guitar. You never know. But if you didn't give them that chance, you never will. Because now you just forced them to do what you would have done. What you did do. That's not them, that's you. And you didn't even want to do it, remember? You just wanted people to like you. That's all Trump had ever wanted. And that's sad. To force people to like him. That's what happens with money. People don't like you. So, you know. So it happens. Just remember why Trump started doing this, why I said I think he started doing this. I'm going to get that guy to like me. How about doing some stuff that's likable? How about that? Hey, I know. I have an idea. You know what you can start with? Show us your actual skin. Yeah, because I don't wear a bunch of shit all over my face. Literally, it's not I can do nothing without wearing all this shit all over my face. You want to prove to somebody that actually has a pair of balls, martial artist for almost 3 decades, by the way. Prove to somebody that literally spent a good portion of his life, yeah, working really hard for these skill sets and stuff like that. You want to prove it to somebody that's disciplined and was taught properly? Yeah, I want to see that you're that you have the balls to go out on camera with normal fucking skin color. If that's what you want, and you want me to like you, it starts with you going out on camera with a normal fucking skin color. And that's some stupid propaganda bullshit that you're trying to pedal in front of Spanish and anybody else that's watching that teeters the other way just because they think your skin isn't so fucking pasty. Like somebody that stupid. That's who you're appealing to with that. It's the truth, though. Like, the point is, most people would immediately turn on the guy if he'd actually, because he's not going to do it. He knows that. He looks in the mirror after he wipes that stuff off and he goes, I look like shit. Well, so do the rest of us, and we deal with it. We find a way to make this not look so much like shit. And then he's like, you see that young man? You see how good he looks? And he's like talking about how good like men look, and it's just like it comes off weird. It's that. Like he's just fascinated with how good their skin looks. Yeah, gee, Donald, I wonder why your skin turned to a useless piece of old fucking leather football. I wonder why this happened, dude. I wonder if it has something to do with all the fucking orange shit you smear all over your face. Like all the other health problems you're suddenly having that I'm trying to tell you is because you're smearing a whole bunch of fucking shit on your face. Again, one can dye your hair once in a while. You start dyeing it too fucking much, what happens? It's chemicals in the body. You can't just sit here and dye your hair like every week, every month. You're gonna get cancer. You're gonna get cancer. You're gonna literally just get cancer. You will literally get cancer. I promise. You'll probably have it in your 40s. Yeah, if you dye your hair like every month, like out of the box, you don't go get it professionally done, you're gonna get cancer. It's just gonna happen. If you sit down in front of a screen for 8 hours to 12 hours a day even, you're gonna get cancer if you do it every day. You can't do that. You can't. You have to break it up. It's got to be 4 hours, 2 hours off. One's not enough. You'll get cancer. Yeah, I'm serious. That's how it works. You are cutting off the circulation to that part of the body for X amount of time. Body thinks you're doing that for a reason. It thinks, oh, he don't need all this. So that genetic problem that activates where it mistakenly attacks healthy cells. What are you doing to make that happen? Oh, that's right. You're sitting on that fucking part that, oh, that's right. Oh. It's like all the morons that are like, you know, bald, right? Now, again, baldness is a congenital thing, okay? But I want to remind you, how many people do you see that they're bald and you just know, like, it's the sort of thing where, like, they're wearing a hat and you know exactly where the line is. You know what I mean? And they take it off, and sure enough, and they always wear a hat. They are always wearing a hat. Look, I know baldness is congenital, but it's not going to just happen necessarily until long enough time has passed, usually. Or again, enough of this or that. Maybe not at all. And you know this is in your family, and you're just like, oh, it's gonna happen anyway, I'll just wear a hat. That's what people do. So they just ensure it happens. You never play with those odds, that logic. You never challenge it. You just go, oh, I'm doomed. Well, then that's one doomed space marine. Yeah. It is. It is. Shit happens, man. Okay? So, Duke Nukem references aside, Duke Nukem references aside, uh, you know, you're doing this shit in excess. You're gonna, it's that way, okay? You know, uh, like I said, you want to drive fast down the fucking road, do it by yourself. In the middle of some fields where you can see a mile. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody fucking cares. Okay? Literally nobody cares. I promise. Nobody gives a shit. But again, for the most part, you really shouldn't be doing this anywhere unless, again, you get on a private track or you get these zoning permits to do it. Because, again, you could hit somebody. There could be something going on where that farmer needs to use equipment to cross that road that day, yada, yada, yada. You don't know. So once you get that, well, people will know, okay? And then you have the right to do it, and then you got the police on your side. Actually, they're gonna probably be there to help you if anything. They're gonna send somebody out there and make sure actually nobody goes down that road is what they're gonna do, okay? And so like that's the point. When you do things right, you can do it. Just like these idiots that listen, you go into a Walmart and you're recording and stuff like that, and you say that you're recording, you're gonna get kicked out. But I also want to remind you, you are allowed to record. So it's sort of they can kick you out and bar you, but again, you can record. So unless they're gonna try to, sue you, like what are they gonna sue you for? You know what I mean? Like, so like the point is, they can ask you to leave. They cannot take your recording. That is yours. They can't take it, and you do have a right to record. The only thing they can do is ask you to leave, and if you refuse, they can call the cops. But the police can't really do anything except trespass you. That's it. So if you refuse to be trespassed and you're blatantly recording in the building, and this is why they're removing you, and you're being trespassed, there's a lot of stuff that the cops then will start to use against you because you didn't just leave. If you're really doing no wrong and you were trying not to be there to cause a problem, why don't you just fucking leave? Anybody that's not there, you're just gonna leave. Okay? Remember when I said I'm not shopping at Walmart anymore? I haven't been back for fucking, like, since I said that. Fuck them. Yep. No, it got nothing to do with that. I just, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it was literally just the example of blatantly all this, where the Republican state media, they're using them too because they have a shitload of cameras and stuff like that, and their assets protection was randomly following me around the store for just blatantly no reason. Like I literally would witness other things going on that he should be doing where like this is crime, like there's actually like other stuff going on, sort of sort of like you see other people talking about too. Like we're, you know, there's just all this crime going on, and they're not focusing on the right thing, you know. So the point is, this guy could be instead of engaging in conversations with everybody he sees and stuff like that, uh, he could be actually doing his job, looking at the cameras or yada yada yada, blending in. But the point is, I know exactly who he is every single time I'm in the store, and that's a problem. Because the point is, if I was actually committing a crime and doing something I shouldn't be doing, I know who that fucking guy is. So he's an idiot. He's just not doing his job. He's just bad at his fucking job. So like, and he harassed me the one time. Like I pointed out the fact that I had just paid. They watched me paid. They watched me pay. And he literally checked my receipt. They can't stop you and force you to do that. They shouldn't ever do that, by the way. But they did, and I was nice about it. I just handed him my receipt. But what you have to realize about this is it was literally like fucking like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. There's nobody going in and out of there. It is dead. It's not a busy store. It's done. They saw me, like, again, they're so goddamn lazy. They're trying to tell me they need to check my receipt when I literally just went through self-checkout right the fuck in front of them. Jesus motherfucking Christ. And then I swear to God, it had nothing to do with the bags. He was like, oh, but it's because you didn't bag this. I can't, literally, physically, I cannot bag a 12-pack of soda. I got news for you. I physically can't. It's sort of like when I got a broom today. I had to get a broom. And I swear to God, the self-checkout went, please place item in bagging area. Wow. And then so because I had this and several other things I wouldn't put in a bag, I can just save the bag and put it in the car just like it is, and it's easier even. It just needs you to hit skip bagging, and not only that, like they're this dumb where 12 packs of soda and brooms, you know, you couldn't possibly imagine they're gonna skip bagging on this. You can bag, guys, a broom, a fucking broom. So these geniuses, every time I go to the store, if I skip bagging X amount, I think it's 5 times, X amount of times, I literally have to stand there and look around and wait for a fucking employee. There is nobody just standing there. They're doing something else. And I am now waiting because they're so goddamn fucking stupid. So this is what this was. The last time I went to Walmart, they had to check my receipt because I didn't bag several 12 packs of soda. This. We're talking about this. Because I didn't bag this. You can't. You can't. I mean, I guess I could put a bag around it and just carry it and put it in the, you know, but it's not bagging it. It's literally just putting a bag sort of around it that doesn't fit. It's not bagging it, that just putting a bag around it doesn't fit. Okay? I can't bag soda. For the most part, people don't bag soda. So why is it that every fucking store can't program into their fucking self-checkout? Oh, wait, except Walmart does with certain things. Oh, that's right. I told them that before, and then they did it. So, who do you think it is? Do you think it's actually corporate when they find out about these things and actually go, yeah, that's the smarter way. Of course we do it that way. Or do you think it's a bunch of fucking morons that are lying to the corporate and trying to save their jobs because they are wrong and they did it? Who do you think it is? Uh-huh. So this is the reality. And, again, the point is they could be catching real people actually stealing stuff at this Walmart that never does any business except in the middle of the day. Like that's the point. And you don't hire security. You have assets protection. These are Walmart employees and they have no authority. Zero. Yep. You are to give customer service and that's it. You are not to stop people. So I want to remind you, if an employee in the United States tries to convince you they can prevent you from leaving the store, I assure you they can't. They can't even detain you. Like, even if you would steal something, you actually technically can run out of there. They can't legally detain you. They can give you a chance to surrender and ask you if you would be willing to talk to them, detainment, stuff like that. They try to get you to think that they can detain you, but they can't. And that it is better if you did that and you made a mistake to own up to it and just go through it, guys. It is better. But I assure you, if you're doing nothing wrong, which is the majority of you, I want to promise you they cannot stop you. And if they run out of the store after you, they're getting fired. If corporate finds out, they're getting fired. They cannot run out of the store after you. That's assault. That's stalking. Because especially if they tackled you, that's assault. If they run out of the store after you, they're stalking you. They are not law enforcement. They are Walmart employees. So, anyway, just like I'm not gonna go flying down the road with fake police lights on chasing after this guy, okay? This faggot that was, okay? All right? Just like I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? All right? It's the same sort of concept, okay? All right? I might record it because I can, because you're allowed to do that. All right? So keep in mind, he's not recording. He doesn't have cameras. Yeah. Yeah, that's convenient, isn't it? Yeah. He don't want them. I wonder why. Okay? Now, I'm not. Like, that's what you gotta recognize, all right? So, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Holy crap, I spent way too much time on here. Now it's almost 11. Remember when an hour ago I was like, it's almost 10. It's almost 11 now. Shit. All right, see you guys. Be safe. Shoot. Don't be swerving around all over the place. Okay? You will not get to your destination any faster. It'll be just much better. Again, most of the time that you notice a difference, you're speeding down the highway and you're going a long, long distance. Truthfully, on these roads and stuff where you got to turn, you got to stop, and there's always another car, statistically speaking, I promise that's true. You will never get to your destination faster. You're looking at about 30 seconds difference. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. 30 seconds? Not worth it. You're risking your life, other people's lives. Don't do it. And even on the highway, for traveling long distances and stuff like that, you're only making up time when you're doing that cross country. And why would you be doing that? Okay, so you see what I'm saying? You'd have to travel a long distance to actually make up that amount of time if you're, because that's the amount of distance you'd have to travel. So, you know, the point is, you're not doing that. Or otherwise, why the fuck are you? You know? So, you know, that's kind of the point. You really should not be speeding. There's no reason for it. It's completely asinine. Please keep right. Do not sit in the fucking passing lane and prevent people from passing. If somebody is going to be an asshole and pass everybody, let him be an asshole. Don't do that. Don't do that shit. Okay? No, seriously. Don't do it. Because the person very well might start swerving around and causing an accident and stuff like that. Just be about yourself. I've seen it too many times. I've seen the cars where the person's swerving around behind them and they're brake checking and stuff, and they're not getting over just because the person was passing. Look, on the highway, both people are wrong in that instance, okay? Guy's just trying to pass you and you're being an asshole. He's just trying to let you know he needs to pass you. He wants to drive faster. You're holding up traffic. He shouldn't do that, but you're both wrong. Okay? That's the reality of that situation. Okay? This is everywhere in driving. So when I just summarized how you should act when you drive based on fact, no adult should ever drive any different except, again, what are the designated speeds, because trust me, that is the absolute limit of the safe amount of time that you have to stop for something that you can see in front of you. If something happens, that speed limit is designed to make sure you have enough time to stop if something's in front of you. That's why it is a speed limit and designed so that you can safely go around those turns, knowing that, again, if somebody was passing, something's happening on the other side of the turn, just as I explained earlier, you can in fact have time to stop, which is why you must be behind somebody by about 3 seconds, by a certain amount of time, distance. You have to have time to stop. Thanks for watching. See you later.